have just a couple of questions to expound on a couple of things before we get more food and break to meet the candidates. John, you mentioned it, and Nelson, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe both of you are, at least in some form, in favor of the single county executive that seems to come up in the past few elections for commissioner, that issue. Obviously, it's something that the state legislature has control over. So correct me if I'm wrong on that. But being more specific on that, when I look at one of the advantages of having 3 commissioners is that it is a public, and the open door law applies to that. Can you talk a little bit about, hypothetically, if you were commissioner and it were reduced to a single county executive, how would you continue an era of openness in government, despite the fact that the open door law couldn't apply to just a single county executive? I'll start with John, and then for my next question, John and then Nelson, and then I'll start with Nelson and John for the second question.
Yeah, I do support the single county executive system. I think it's absolutely essential at this point in our history that we get down to a system that makes decisions faster and does things faster. You know, there are hundreds of cities and towns all across this state that have mayors, and they do their job very well. The city of Fort Wayne doesn't invite everybody in the world into the mayor's staff meetings, and we're very happy with that. Most people seem to think that's the model to go by. You know, the key to access, the key to transparency to providing information to the public is like the ordinance that I proposed and successfully lobbied the county to do, where a tremendous amount of new and more expanded information on where your tax dollars are being spent are online. You know, a lot of decisions still get made before you ever walk into that public meeting. I don't think it impacts transparency at all if we get it down to a single county system.
Thank you. I think much to the chagrin of some of my statewide colleagues, I've openly supported the concept of a single county executive through the days. You know, I've actually testified in favor of it at the State House, and the measure has risen to a level of priority on the Allen County Commissioner's legislative agenda each of the last 4 years. Will it make for a better form of government? Who knows? Will it make for a quicker form of government? Absolutely. We get mired in the decision-making process right now, and a lot of times when you've got to get folks to coalesce around a single idea, it's simply easier to do it with a lesser number of people. Now, I do believe that in this time, the Allen County Commissioners have done a great job in ensuring that there is open and transparent government. When I first became commissioner, there was something called a continuous session. The continuous session essentially allowed the commissioners to conduct business in such a way that the news media oftentimes alleged there were open door violations. Now, I don't really believe that was the case, but those are some of the concerns that we heard coming back. But when I came on board, within the first year, we eliminated that practice of continuous sessions just to eliminate that question from anybody's minds at all. You know, as John had mentioned, and he pushed, and I actually worked with him at that time in ensuring that we could get claims and contracts and all kinds of things to the county's website. I think that was an absolutely outstanding idea that needed to be. When I first came on board, I created the first ethics ordinance that Allen County had. Could it use some tweaking? Could it use some fine tuning? Yeah, probably so. Additionally, when I was a member of the county council many moons ago, I hate to tell you how long ago at this point, I pushed to televise council and commissioner meetings so that the public could get a better idea of what the inner workings of government look like. Now, as a single county executive, there's no reason that chief executive should be held to any less a standard than a county board of commissioners. By employing and enhancing some of the measures that I've mentioned, that I've been instrumental in implementing, a single county executive should be able to operate in a transparent, as transparent a manner as the commissioners do now.